It's Monday, February 2nd.
Alberta could be more prosperous and free on our own.
Alberta's separatist movement confirms high-level meetings with the U.S. with officials, but won't say who they've spoken directly to.
We are so excited. This is the 70th prediction for Wiarton Willie.
And so much snow and cold this winter. We'll take any news we can get about an early spring, am I right? If it comes from a groundhog. And it was a star-studded night of performances at big winners as well at the Grammy Awards. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Monday.
Feels pretty good to say February instead of January 36th or whatever. We felt we were on there. My goodness, survived the whole year of January.
And Groundhog Day, I'll tell you, it's looking like an early spring in the weather forecast. We're supposed to get up to about 7 degrees by Thursday.
Great movie, too.
Yeah.
You seen it?
Yeah.
You've seen it, of course.
Yeah.
Big winners at the Grammys last night. Bad Bunny. It's a big week for him. He's also headlining the Super Bowl, which you can see this weekend on CTV.
Olivia Dean, Best New Artist, one of our favorites.
Yeah, that song's stuck in my head. It's a real earworm. We'll get to your forecast in just a minute. Early spring is good news. We'll start with Canada's Secretary of State for Defence Procurement visiting South Korea this week as the competition to build Canada's next fleet of submarines heats up. Secretary of State Stephen Fury will be meeting with the senior defence officials in South Korea. While he's there, he will visit the Hanwha shipyard, where the company builds the model of submarine. South Korea's Hanwha and a joint German-Norwegian bid are the two finalists to supply the Royal Canadian Navy with up to 12 patrol submarines. The contract could be worth up to around $100 billion over 30 years. The trip comes after South Korean government officials and representatives of both Hanwha and Hyundai visited Toronto and Ottawa last month. Members of the Iranian community gathered across the country, including here in Saskatchewan at the Legislative Building, to stand in solidarity with anti-government protesters in Iran and call on Ottawa to do more.
They expect us to be their voice. So we are here to showing that there is a solidarity with them, and we expect Canada to be our voice.
The demonstrators say they want to raise awareness about the protests and about the regime's violent crackdown that has claimed thousands of lives. Joined a march through downtown Toronto. There's a look at it in support of Iranian people and to call for a regime change in Tehran. The rallies come as Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, warned the U.S. and any American military intervention in Iran would spark a larger conflict in the Middle East. The U.S. has recently moved several warships to the region. We may be in the depths of winter, but work for farmers in this country never really stops. And right now they're facing the harsh realities of high tariffs and low crop prices, and the market uncertainty could be impacting grain deliveries. Alison Bamford reports.
Winter can feel long and drawn out for farmers waiting to get back into the field. Rob Stone spends the cold months maintaining equipment, planning ahead, and selling grain to pay the bills.
Most of the wheat is gone.
Crop prices, cash flow, and storage usually dictate when Stone sells his grain. He moved on his wheat a little earlier this year, which made for a slower December. Recent numbers from Statistics Canada show producers across the country delivered less grain to elevators, mills, and crushing plants last month. Wheat, oats, and rye saw the biggest dip.
Prices aren't what you would want. In fact, they're probably at or below a break-even price, so that's got to be holding some people back from deliveries.
Domestically, oilseed processors experienced a busier December, crushing more than 1 million tons of canola, up 6.1% year over year. An increase possibly fueled by stagnant canola exports to China due to punishing tariffs as farmers tried to offset their export losses.
Farmers didn't have another viable alternative to sell into the grain handling system.
But that's about to change. China has reportedly ordered shipments of Canadian canola in advance of the tariffs set to be lowered in March, a move that experts say could bode well for other commodity prices.
It makes good economic sense for farmers to sort of hold off and see if there's going to be a price rally that may carry over.
Back on the farm, Stone says market uncertainty is always a concern, but he has hope.
At the farm gate level, right now, it feels like things are working well in spite of our challenges.
A good feeling to have heading into the next season. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
One person has been arrested in connection to the death of a 37-year-old man from the Waterhen First Nation. Jeremy Dodge is following this for us. What are we learning, Jeremy?
Daryl, a 24-year-old man from Waterhen First Nation has been charged with second-degree murder following a suspicious death in the community. In an update sent on Saturday, Saskatchewan RCMP said Skyla Sass was arrested January 30th, hours after the investigation began. Sass is facing one count of second-degree murder. Officers called around 8:45 in the morning, January 30th, after Meadow Lake RCMP received a report of an injured man at a home in the community about 300 kilometers northwest of Prince Albert. Officers arrived to find a seriously injured man who was later pronounced dead by EMS at the scene. The victim has so far not been identified to the public, but his family's been notified. Sass is scheduled in Meadow Lake Provincial Court this morning. Well, for the last 2 weekends, the Canadian Armed Forces has been conducting winter survival training for members of all ranks at the Prince Albert Range training area. The property is no longer used as a range, but the Armed Forces says the wooded area is ideal for basic maneuver training. In addition to the North Saskatchewan Regiment, members of the 38 Combat Engineer Regiment and 38 Service Battalion participated in a snowmobile course, a chainsaw usage, and winter operations training.
It's just all basic to be able to hone our skills so that we can augment the regular force or deploy or have the soldiers have the experience to deploy to Latvia.
Going forward, the area will be used for training year-round. Daryl, some organizations in Regina coming together over the weekend to help the unhoused.
Yeah, well, 6 or 7 coming together to donate 120 winter packages to the homeless. Items included in these packages were socks, toques, gloves, hygiene products. Each package also included a meal for the day. As a third-year medical student at the university, this person finds the time on weekends to give back.
And I asked him how did he end up in that spot, and he told me he was a truck driver. He was a truck driver and he got into a car accident, he lost his truck, he went into a huge debt, and in one day his life flipped upside down. And this reminds me and all of us here that we are all one unfortunate event from having our lives flipped upside down.
This initiative has happened for 5 years in Saskatoon, 3 in Regina, the next scheduled for the 8th of February in Saskatoon. The third storm in 3 weeks in Atlantic Canada, this one bringing heavy snow through Nova Scotia, Newfoundland and Labrador today.
I think it's just kind of the thing that we expect, and the Maritimes, Atlantic Canada, they're used to this.
This is St. John's, where an orange winter storm warning is in effect for today for parts of eastern Newfoundland. Up to 50 centimeters of snow expected to fall there. Schools in the St. John's metro region will remain closed today. Classes are also canceled in parts of Nova Scotia. There are snowfall warnings for the eastern half of the province and Cape Breton Island. The province's main power provider has also activated its emergency operations center. And there are also yellow cold warnings in effect for parts of Ontario today for the month of February. The temperature is expected to stay frigid in places like Quebec, which has seen one of the longest and coldest stretches of the year in cold. A climatologist and Environment and Climate Change Canada person says Quebec has seen below normal and below freezing temperatures for 44 consecutive days. That is a near record stretch. NASA says its earliest possible launch window for Artemis 2 is now around the 8th. That's going to the moon, of course. The space agency is citing cold weather and winds that blew through the Kennedy Space Center in Florida for the adjusted timeline. The simulated launch is set to take place tomorrow in preparation for launch day. The rocket is set to have Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen on board, making him the first non-American to travel beyond lower Earth orbit. tonight. A Scotties curling champion has been crowned on Sunday, and it all came down to this.
Hitting it across the top of the second shot and moving it back the other direction. Final stone. Walker. Walker. Now here's Gordon. Here's Gordon. They got it by. Have they got this? Oh, no, they touched it, and it won't go. And it'll be a 5th championship for Carrie Anderson.
Unbelievable finish, a heartbreaker for Caitlin Law. Suffers her first loss of the event. Anderson captures her 5th Scotties title, just the 3rd skip to do so, and moves into a tie with Rachel Homan for 3rd most all time. How sweet it is. Let's get over to the Weather Center and talk about that warm-up you mentioned.
Yeah, well, it's not happening today necessarily. We're still into the negatives in many places across the province, although a lot of places, not all, above the seasonal average today. So we're starting to see things warm up. But as we continue on to look into the rest of the work week, we really start to see a lot of positive temperatures across the province. So it's going to be a pretty great week to be here in Saskatchewan. -7 right now, waking us up in Regina. We do have some flurries in the area. We're not alone in that. Many places across the province seeing a few flurries to start the day, Saskatoon included, as we wake up to -9. Winds a bit calmer, though, in Saskatoon right now, coming in at 15 kilometers per hour. The winds are going to be a bit stronger for Regina this morning in the morning hours. Into the afternoon, they are going to calm down a bit. Let's talk about those flurries right now, though. So this is current, which you're looking at on the screen where the system is. So we start to see it already pulling away from Saskatoon. So Saskatoon not really going to be seeing those flurries for too much longer. Regina could be seeing them into the rest of our morning hours and then pulling away from the city into the afternoon hours. Prince Albert, though, still going to be seeing some of those flurries into the later parts of the afternoon and early evening hours. We start to see it curving around Prince Albert then into the evening hours. Areas around Nipawin still going to be seeing some of those flurries, and really all those areas north of the Parkland region there. All of the province, other than the very outermost tip of that southwest corner, really going to be blanketed in clouds today as well. Let's talk about how much snow you can expect today. So by 11 a.m. this morning, we're expecting Regina to have seen about 3 more centimeters of snow. Moose Jaw about 2 centimeters. Estevan, though, seeing about 7 more centimeters of snow. In Saskatoon, about 1 centimeter. By the end of the day, some of those numbers do jump up. So Estevan, by the end of the day, the total is going to be about 9 centimeters of snow. Total for Regina, about 4, Moose Jaw 3, and then Prince Albert and the Battlefords reaching about 1 centimeter of snow. Today's forecast with that snow looking pretty good. As I mentioned, a lot of these areas above the seasonal average, including Saskatoon at -5, Regina at -6, Weyburn -6, Estevan -8. Below the seasonal averages, Yorkton -13. That seasonal average there is about -10, so just barely below that seasonal average. Take a look at these temperatures, though. How fabulous is this forecast? 0 degrees tomorrow in Regina, 5 degrees by Wednesday, 7 degrees on Thursday with a mix of sun and cloud, 2 degrees on Friday, 3 degrees on Saturday, and 5 degrees by Sunday. So a lot of positive temperatures on the way. In Saskatoon, we're seeing -1 tomorrow, 5 degrees, though, on Wednesday, 5 degrees on Thursday, 0 degrees on Friday, 1 degree for Saturday and Sunday.
You use it to eat and talk, but having a healthy mouth is worth much more than just a pretty smile.
It's about an investment in your overall health and well-being.
Dr. Stephen Katz with the American Association of Endodontists says patients don't often realize that oral health plays a big role in overall health.
If you have healthy teeth, that you can improve your cardiovascular health, you can reduce your risk of diabetes, and you can improve your cognitive function as you age.
Despite those reasons, officials say oral health in U.S. adults hasn't changed much the past 2 decades. About 90% of adults between the ages of 20 to 64 have some tooth decay, and nearly half of adults between 45 and 64 years of age have gum disease. Some may dismiss tooth pain due to lack of insurance, as about 1 in 4 working age adults don't have it. Others may dread getting care. About about 1 in 5 adults have moderate to high dental fear and anxiety.
The fact that people say that root canals are painful is really a myth.
Katz says new techniques, advanced technologies, and improved local anesthesia now make the procedure pain-free, quick, and easy.
If you need a root canal, don't be hesitant to go.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Well, in case you missed it, maybe we'll get some good news about the winter on Groundhog Day today.
Well, first of all, we're true believers. We actually believe in Punxsutawney Phil and Groundhog Day.
Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania is ready to host today's Groundhog Day festivities. You know how it goes. If the groundhog sees its shadow, it's 6 more weeks of winter. If not, though, then it's an early spring. Here's this morning's Groundhog Day schedule. Punxsutawney Phil will make its prediction in about an hour. Shubenacadie Sam is taking today off because of bad weather in Nova Scotia. Warrenton Willie is still a go. That's just after 8 a.m. Eastern, and Lucy the Lobster will weigh in that hour as well.
I love that there's a lobster doing it now.
They're like, you know what? Anything works.
What kind of animal do we got? Let's throw it out there.
Groundhog Day, that's old news. Let's do Lobster Day.
I wonder how accurate they are. You know?
I mean, it's kind of just for fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great celebration.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you'd look great in some of those outfits.
Oh, yes. I know.
The retro.
Oh, yeah,
retro
he knows.
hat, the top hat? Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Question of the day. What is a day that you would redo over and over, just like Bill Murray in the classic movie Groundhog Day?
Jeremy, what do you think?
Over and over and over? Not much, but I would like to redo my wedding day just because it was such a blur. It'll be 22 years ago this summer, but wow. It was, you're not taking it in.
No.
There was so much. What a great day it was. I'd love to experience that once more and actually think about it.
Not all of us have a cruise ship at our disposal and karaoke invite everybody to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Drop me off in Aruba. I was going to say, the day I became a mom, obviously, I think any parent would think
4 or
that.
5 days after we recovered.
But that's exactly it. I was thinking, I was like, I don't know if I really liked the whole going and getting sliced open part.
What do you want to relive? Let us know. All you got to do is text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. Or scan the QR code on your screen. Let's take a look at the city of Regina as you fill up your coffee cup. We're back in just 3 minutes.
Hello, Laura Dyken here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. For that, let's head south to the NHL's latest outdoor game in Tampa. The Lightning playing host to the Bruins. And here in the second, Jeremy Swayman not happy with Brandon Hagel poking away at the puck. And once Swayman backs away from that scrum, hey, someone wants in on the action. That would be the other goaltender in this game, Andrei Vasilevsky. They drop him. Ding, ding, ding. Let's go. Second goaltender fight in 2 weeks we've seen in the NHL. The previous one featured the Sharks and Panthers, Nedeljkovic, Bobrovsky. These ones throwing punches, haymakers from Vasilevsky, who earns the takedown. What a scene inside Raymond James Stadium. And there's John Cooper. Not sure he's dressed up as. But that was your must-see moment from Sunday. Tonight on TSN, if you are in the Jets region, TSN 3 has the Jets-Dallas game for you at 7 Central. Or you can check out college basketball. We've got a doubleheader over on TSN 5 starting at 5 Mountain Time, 8 Atlantic. That does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, not a bad start to the day, -7, and in Saskatoon, -9. However, you should know both cities experiencing some light flurries this morning, so definitely still grab a toque, bundle up on your way out the door. By lunchtime, -8 with some heavy amounts of cloud cover in both cities, but Regina -8, Saskatoon -7. Final bell in Regina reaching that expected daytime high of -6, still with that cloud cover, and in in Saskatoon, -5. Winds rather low today, only up to about 20 to 25 kilometers per hour. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common price, $117.9. The lowest you might find is $102.9. In Saskatoon, that common price also $117.9, and the lowest you might find, though, is $107.9. Over to the farm markets now, where we find the street price of canola sitting at $599.03 per ton, and the futures price $644.30 per ton. Amber Durham wheat now at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat $257.74 per ton. And the Canadian dollar is up this morning. It's at 73.74 cents U.S. Coming up, why hundreds of young farmers are gathering in Regina this week. Stay with us for the details.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. It is just about 6:30 on your Monday. An Alberta separatist group is not denying meeting with U.S. officials over the past year, but the group won't say who they've been meeting with.
People in our meetings are going, direct.
Stephen Miller?
I'm not going to say. I mean,
Why not?
We're not, because we're not. We have an agreement with the people that we're meeting with that we're not disclosing the identities of the people that we're meeting with.
The Alberta Prosperity Project Legal Counsel won't say which members of the Trump administration they've spoken with directly, but they have said their meetings have not included the president. The group is now looking to create a feasibility study on how an independent Alberta would be able to fund itself. BC's premier has called the group's actions treason. Separatists in Alberta need 178,000 signatures by May for their petition to trigger a referendum on the province's independence. Manitoba's Premier Wab Kinew will visit the remote community of Churchill, Manitoba this week to talk about the potential of its port.
Big energy play, defense, environmental protection. Churchill has it all in terms of nation building.
Currently, the port operates 4 months of the year. It ships critical minerals to European markets and other supplies to the north. Ottawa has already earmarked the port as a transformative project with potential to support military presence in the north and provide a gateway for year-round trade through the Atlantic. Kinew says the people who live in Churchill should be at the center of the conversation. He is scheduled to take part in a tourism roundtable and town hall tomorrow. Governor General Mary Simon heads to Norway today. While in Norway, the Governor General will take part in the Arctic Frontiers Conference. She will also meet with Norway's King Harald V in Oslo. From Norway, Mary Simon will then travel to Denmark and Greenland for the opening of Canada's first consulate on the island. The Governor General's trip aims to highlight Canada's commitment to Arctic collaboration and the role of Indigenous communities in shaping the future of the region. The father of a Canadian soldier who died in Latvia says his son dedicated his life to service. Gunner Sebastian Halgman died on Thursday. He was deployed as part of NATO's Operation Reassurance. His father told CTV News his son was a proud member of the armed forces and loved every minute of his service. Latvian military police have launched an investigation with support from the Canadian Forces Military Police. Toyota has issued a recall for almost 20,000 cars in Canada. The cars are being recalled, the Toyota Prius and Prius Prime, model years 2023 to 2026. A notice from Transport Canada says there is a risk of the car rear door opening while driving. Affected owners will be notified by mail. In the meantime, drivers are recommended to turn on the lock function on the car's dashboard to reduce the risk. On Saturday at the Mackenzie Art Gallery, it was a time to celebrate African Heritage Month. African Canadian history dates back to the late 1800s and early 1900s in the prairies. Many of the settlers moved from Oklahoma seeking better opportunities, among segregation increasing in the U.S. As one of Saskatchewan's residents born of African descent, Saturday was an important day for Carol Lafayette Boyd.
In the 1800s, there were many people that came up after the gold rush. A lot of people didn't know that there was a black settlement up near Maidstone. They came in 1910, and my great-grandmother was among those people that came there. And my own family came in 1906 right here to Regina. And I think my father was one of the first persons of African descent to be born here in 1907.
Among other notable figures highlighted were Dr. Shadd, who worked in the medical field in the late 1890s, George Smith, who served in World War I, and William Earl Lafayette, who served in World War II. Landmarks such as the Shiloh Baptiste in Maidstone, which was built in the first 12 families, were also honored. The Regina Pats raced a 2-goal deficit to beat the rival Moose Jaw Warriors Sunday.
Brown stops in the corner and gets smoked by Ziprit. No penalty on the play. Now in front, McNutt, stop, rebound, scores!
Caden Brown, the hero in overtime, is 22nd of the year. The Pats complete the comeback, win it 3-2. The win moves the Pats into a tie for the 8th and final playoff spot, with lots of hockey yet to be played.
Loose, picked up by Coots, it's put in front. Now it's Oiring in the circle, a shot, save made. A backhand shot, a save by Gardner again. Oiring wraparound, loose puck in the far corner, unable to be put in. Raiders all over them. Here's Rudolph, a shot. He puts it high and wide. Blake reorganized.
Through everything but the kitchen sink at goalie Evan Gardner. He was named first star, turning aside 45 shots he faced in a losing effort. Aiden Oiring's 22nd of the year, you just saw that there, stood up as the game winner. It was a power play marker. Raiders continue to rule the East. They've got 78 points. Let's turn our attention to Kayleen Sawatsky in the Weather Center. It's Groundhog Day. We don't know anything about shadows yet, but we do know there's a warm-up on the way in Regina this week.
Yeah, we just have to get through this system that we're talking about today first. Later on into the work week, though, we are going to be seeing some very wonderful temperatures, a lot of positive numbers coming our way. Not necessarily today, though. Let's talk about this radar and satellite. We saw a little bit of everything in the province overnight. Down in the southwest corner, you can see those pinks and green colors indicating the rain and the freezing rain. Everywhere else you can see that purple color, and that is the snow. Currently right now, here's what we're looking at in the province. So it's starting to pull away from Saskatoon, those flurries that we saw there earlier on this morning. Regina, though, still seeing some of those flurries. We're going to be seeing it really for the rest of the morning here. Into the afternoon hours, we start to see a lot of that disappearing from the south. Still seeing some of the flurries around the areas of Prince Albert and then areas to the north. Then we start to see it really curving around Prince Albert and Saskatoon, areas north of the Parkland region, west of Prince Albert, around Nipawin area there. We're going to be seeing some more of those flurries. And then that system is, for the most part, going to be moving into Manitoba. Still seeing some of those flurries into tomorrow afternoon in areas around Regina, around Yorkton, and down through Estevan as well. Let's talk about some current temperatures, though. The colors are looking a lot nicer than what we were seeing last week. The pink colors, though, indicating where we're seeing the coldest temperatures. And I do want to draw your attention to South End, minus 34 right now. So a very cold start to the day there. Everywhere else, though, not looking too bad. Spiritwood minus 13, Melfort minus 18 right now, Hudson Bay minus 23. Better temperatures down towards the south. 0 degrees right now in Swift Current, minus 3 in Assiniboia, minus 9 in Weyburn and Estevan, minus 16 in Yorkton to start the day. Later on into the afternoon, we're seeing a lot of temperatures above that seasonal average, other than Yorkton. Yorkton minus 13 this afternoon. The average there is about minus 10, so that is the outlier today. Other than that, though, Regina reaching minus 6. The average for this time of year is about minus 8 here in Saskatoon. Average is minus 9, and we're actually going to be seeing minus 5 this afternoon. 0 degrees continuing on for Swift Current. Again, though, talking about some more of those flurries. Weyburn minus 6 and Estevan minus 8. Let's talk about the rest of your work week, which is looking wonderful. In Regina, 0 degrees tomorrow with some more cloud cover, 5 degrees on Wednesday, 7 degrees on Thursday. We're really going to be seeing that melt. Probably not the day to be washing your car with this on the way. 2 degrees on Friday with a mix of sun and cloud. In Saskatoon, minus 1 tomorrow, 5 degrees on Wednesday, 5 degrees on Thursday, and 0 on Friday.
The FCC Young Farmer Summit is happening in Regina starting February 10th. Jason Fisk is with FCC, joins us live in studio this morning. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks, Daryl.
Remind us, everybody out there, what FCC is all about.
Well, we are a financial lender to Canadian farm and food companies. And so, I think we like to feel that we are the only lender that just focuses on farm and food. And so we're proud to do that all across the country.
Now you're focusing in on young farmers, bringing them all together here in Regina. What's the idea behind the focus on young farmers specifically?
Yeah, well, so the Young Farmer Summit is an opportunity, I think, for producers to take a day away from the farm and focus on the business side of agriculture. And so what it is, it's a free event. It's open to anybody, whether you're an FCC customer or not. And so we spend the day talking about topics like financial management, transition planning. We'll have our economists speaking and talking about kind of from a macro view. And I think it's just really important for young producers to think about the business side of farming and not just sort of the production side. And modern agriculture is getting more and more complex, and it's not just about production. And so we want to make sure that we set the next generation up with the knowledge and the tools and the capabilities to really not just to survive, but to thrive.
Never really had this in the past. How valuable has this been?
Yeah, well, actually, we've done this the last few years, but we usually go across the country to about 7 locations, and it's usually a really popular event. It brings a lot of energy and I'd say motivation and inspiration for people, and we really hope that they leave the day with a plan, that they know sort of what they're going to work on when they get back to the farm and what they can do to grow and enhance their business.
Is that transition part maybe the most tricky?
It is. It's really complex. It can be really emotional. It can be because there's family dynamics involved and the history and many other things. I would say that's probably the thing that most of our attendees have top of mind, and that's why we usually have at least one or 2 speakers on the topic.
And they're all going through the same thing right across the board, right? The threat of tariffs, the ever-changing marketplace. How difficult is it to dance with these things when you're presenting? Because it changes every day. You could book somebody that's fantastic, and then the next day you're like, that doesn't really work anymore.
For sure. The one thing you can say about Canadian farmers is they're resilient, right? And I think that's, as things change constantly within the industry, there's a resiliency that we see constantly with these business owners and these producers and operators. And so, yeah, I think there's topics that are sort of always at the forefront, and those are the ones we really try to cover from a business management perspective, because those are quite constant.
Somebody's watching, they want to get in on the action, get to your conference. How do they sign up? How do they get there?
Yeah, so they can go to fcc.ca/events, and you'll see all the events that we have to offer, and the Young Farmer Summit will be there near the top, and yeah, they can just register for free right on the site.
Jason, thanks for a couple of minutes. Thanks. All starts on February the 10th. You can sign up, as you said, on the website, fcc.ca. It's on your screen.
The Canadian dollar has become the worst performing G10 currency so far this year. It's up 0.59% against the U.S. dollar, trading at $1.36 to the U.S. currency. Other underperformers include the euro and the Danish krone, and the New Zealand dollar is the top performer, up more than 4% to the U.S. dollar this year. Gold, meanwhile, is extending its losses after its biggest plunge in more than a decade on Friday. Spot gold fell as much as 10% early this morning, and silver slumped as much as 16%. The sell-off has been driven largely by bullion-based ETFs and borrowed bets. And those are your morning business headlines for BNN Bloomberg. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
All right, it's time for your Monday morning whether or not. Here is your question. What is the coldest wind chill ever recorded in Canada? Is it minus 45, minus 56, minus 63, minus 79, or minus 81?
Oh, man.
81 seems too unrealistic.
I'm going to say minus 63.
Okay.
I can't imagine.
Farther north, it gets a little dicey. I'm going to go with D, Kayleen.
All right. The answer is D, minus 79.
Wow.
Yeah, the coldest wind chill ever recorded in Canada. It occurred in Cooguruk, Nunavut on January 13th, 1975. The temperature was minus 51 Celsius, and then the winds that were being produced were at 56 kilometers per hour, and that produced the wind chill of minus 79.
Better there than here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Whew.
It's February 2nd, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated birthday wish going out to these triplets, Aria, Brooklyn, and Charlotte. They turned 8 yesterday. We hope your day was amazing. Lots of love from your granny, Jerome, and Sam. Over the weekend, Duncan celebrated his 100th birthday with a visit from the Lieutenant Governor. Congratulations on such an amazing milestone. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Kate. She marked another trip around the sun yesterday. Lots of love from Cody, Harrison, Laura, and Nathan. Yesterday was Laura's special day. She turned 41. Happy birthday wishes coming to you from your mom, Sophie, Robin, and Dale. We also want to send a belated birthday wish out to Leslie, who marked her 60th this weekend. Lots of love from your granddaughters, Kalia, Aria, Zeta, and Kinley. Also celebrating this weekend was Kristen. Lots of love from your mom, sister, nieces, and nephew. Happy birthday. Happy birthday wishes also going out to Rainan and Talia. We hope both of you have such special days. This shout out coming from your mom. And celebrating today is Benjamin. Happy 5th birthday to you. Lots of love from your mom, dad, Harper, and Lainey. Turning 2 years old today is Serenity. Happy birthday to you with a ton of love from your Nana. Happy birthday also going out to Clara Rose. She turns 7 today. Your grandma and grandpa say they love you to the moon. Enjoy your special day. And turning 14 today is Kaya. Your dad, mom, and brother say they hope your birthday is just as amazing as you are. Happy birthday.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least 1 day in advance.
Oh, so poor Chase is out running around with an inflatable chicken on, and you're in the cold studio in Regina. This doesn't seem fair.
It doesn't at all. No, I slipped getting into work. I face planted. I had snow up in my glasses, and all I could think of was chasing a Speedo. So it was a terrible start. Terrible start to the morning. But a good start. I know. It was colorful, I'll tell you that. Great morning for you, though. If you have qualified for the All-Access Pass, free concerts for the year, we'll find our grand prize winner just before 9 o'clock today. It could be you or somebody you know, and they can take you to all these free concerts this year that we sponsor. Also, Daryl knows we are kicking off our Crack the Co-op number contest today. So we have 6 digits in this code. You have to guess all of them to win gift cards to Sherwood Co-op or any co-op within the province. So we're going to kickstart it coming up after 7 o'clock on the radio. And then here on Your Mornings, we're going to have a special code coming up before 9 a.m. to win.
That's right. Kayleen's got that for you coming up in just a minute. Brandon, thank you.
We'll talk to you later, man.
The stars were out for the 68th Annual Grammy Awards at the Crypto.com Arena in L.A. Trevor Noah returned to host for his 6th and final time.
Wildflower by Billie Eilish.
Song of the Year went to Billie Eilish's Wildflower. Olivia Dean was named Best New Artist. And Bad Bunny making history with his Album of the Year win, marking the first time a Spanish-language album won the top prize.
I want to dedicate this award to all the people that had to leave their homeland, their country to follow their dreams.
There were touching tributes honoring the late Beach Boy Brian Wilson and the late rocker Ozzy Osbourne. Looking ahead to next year, the Grammys are coming to ABC, Disney Plus, and Hulu in 2027. Speaking of musicians, Mariah Carey was honored this weekend as MusiCare's Person of the Year for her musical achievements and philanthropy. The Foo Fighters, Jennifer Hudson, and John Legend among those who paid tribute. The event ended with a group performance of Carey's holidays classic, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
I'm your boss. You work for me.
We're not in the office anymore, Bradley.
There's a new winner at the box office. The survival horror film Send Help, starring Rachel McAdams, about a woman and her boss who becomes stranded on a desert island after a plane crash, took top honors with $20 million in revenue. It was followed by the sci-fi horror film Iron Lung. The documentary Melania, about First Lady Melania Trump, came in third with $7 million. And happy birthday, Shakira. The Colombian pop star is 49. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Listen, it's Monday, so you might be a little bit of a grump, just like this kid.
want me to carry this? Seriously? Why do I have to do everything?
Yeah, I feel every bit of this. Sean parodying what happens when you ask your kids to do something. And
yeah.
Just depending on the day.
So glad we've passed by this in my household.
Yeah, we're
Now
waiting
they just
over here.
don't. No, they just don't make a big show of it.
Just say no.
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about this one? We're going to start the work week with this very cool guy. Look at him go. This dad and daughter duo playing the castanets, and it's gone viral, almost 6 million views so far. Not only was he her teacher, he also invented this style of playing.
6 million.
Yeah.
Can't imagine.
I love it.
Can't imagine getting that kind of attention.
Oh. I don't know if you want it, because then you get you subject yourself to everybody's opinions.
That's fair. That's
No,
fair.
thanks.
Quick time out. We're back just after this short break. It's Monday, February 2nd. Vital lifeline linking Gaza to the outside world reopened this morning, but movement at the Rafah crossing remains highly restricted.
I think it's just kind of the thing that we expect, and the Maritimes, Atlantic Canada, they're used to this. I think what's a little different in this one is that it's all snow. This one is just shovel, plow it, and push it.
Better there than here, right? Yet another storm is plowing its way through parts of Atlantic Canada today, the third nor'easter in 3 weeks. And a star-studded night at the Grammys. A full recap coming up. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning. Happy Monday.
It is Groundhog Day, so we're going to start getting the prognostications from all of our rodents out there. And I think the first to do it is going to be Punxsutawney Phil this hour.
Yeah, and looking forward to that. I know we have our Canadian versions too, but I feel like I always still look forward to seeing what Punxsutawney Phil has to say.
Well, it's the hats, it's the outfits, it's the pomp and pageantry around it. It's pretty cool stuff.
Looking forward to that.
Why did we start doing a lobster? That was weird.
Well, I mean, why not?
I guess.
Why a groundhog to begin with? Do we know the history on that?
Let's look it up.
I'm going to go look it up.
We'll
talk about this later.
Let's do news. The Rafah crossing between Egypt and Gaza reopened this morning. Only a limited number of people will cross in the early days of the reopening. 50 sick or injured Palestinians are being allowed out each day, and 50 people will be allowed in. Aid trucks and ambulances are gathering at the crossing, ready to provide support. The Rafah crossing is the only way in and out of Gaza that doesn't go through Israel. It has been mostly closed since Israel captured the Gaza side of the border. The reopening is part of the first phase of the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. Members of the Iranian community gathered cross-country, including in the Saskatchewan legislature, to stand in solidarity with anti-government protests in Iran and call on Ottawa to do more.
They expect us to be their voice. So we are here to showing that there is a solidarity with them, and we expect Canada to be our voice.
The demonstrators say they want to raise awareness about the protests and about the regime's violent crackdown that has claimed, they say, thousands of lives. The rallies come as Iran's supreme leader has warned the U.S. that any military intervention by the U.S. in Iran would spark a larger conflict in the Middle East. The U.S. has recently moved several warships to that region. Canada's Secretary of State for Defense Procurement is visiting South Korea this week as the competition to build Canada's fleet of submarines heating up. The Secretary of State, Stephen Fuhr, will be meeting with senior defense officials in South Korea. While he's there, he will visit the shipyard where the company builds the model of submarine. South Korea's Hanwha and a joint German-Norwegian bid are the top two finalists to supply the Royal Canadian Navy with up to 12 patrol submarines. The contract would be worth up to $100 billion over 30 years. The trip comes after South Korean government officials and representatives from both Hyundai and Hanwha visited Toronto and Ottawa last month. One person has been arrested in connection to the death of a 37-year-old from the Waterhen First Nation. Jeremy Dodge standing by with the latest. JD?
Daryl, a 24-year-old man from Waterhen First Nation has been charged with second-degree murder following this suspicious death in the community. Saskatchewan RCMP said Sky Lasasse was arrested on January 30th, faces one count of second-degree murder. The victim has so far not been identified to the public, but his family has been notified. Lasasse is scheduled in Meadow Lake Provincial Court this morning. For the last 2 weekends, the Canadian Armed Forces has been conducting winter survival training for members of all ranks at the Prince Albert Range training area. Now, the property no longer used as a range, but the Armed Forces say the wooded area is ideal for basic maneuver training. In addition to the North Saskatchewan Regiment, members of the 38 Combat Engineer Regiment and 38 Service Battalion participated in a snowmobile course, chainsaw usage, and winter operations training.
It's just all basic to be able to hone our skills so that we can augment the regular force or deploy or have the soldiers have the experience to deploy to Latvia.
Going forward, the area will be used for training year-round. Daryl, some stormy weather again hitting Atlantic Canada.
Yeah, we're getting warm up. They're getting their third nor'easter in 3 weeks. Jeremy, the snow is coming fierce in Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and Labrador.
I think it's just kind of the thing that we expect. And the Maritimes, Atlantic Canada, they're used to this.
This is St. John's, where an orange winter storm warning is in effect for parts of eastern Newfoundland. Up to 50 centimeters of snow is expected there, 50. Schools in the St. John's metro region will remain closed today. Classes canceled in parts of Nova Scotia. There are snowfall warnings for the eastern half of the province and Cape Breton Island as well. The province's main power distributor has activated its emergency operations center. And there are yellow cold warnings in effect for parts of Ontario today. For the month of February, the temperature is expected to stay frigid in places like Quebec, which has seen the longest and coldest stretches of cold in years. A climatologist and Environment Climate Change Canada person says Quebec has seen below normal or below freezing temperatures for 44 consecutive days. That is a near record stretch. A Quebec engineering school is the first institution of its kind to remove beef from its cafeteria menu. As CTV's Lawrence Brisson reports, the school has made the change in an effort to cut carbon emissions.
This environmental move doesn't start in a lab. It starts in the cafeteria. Polytechnique began pulling beef from its menus in September. Now it's completely gone. Patrick Segana is with the school's Office of Sustainable Development.
Just that one ingredient was responsible to about half of the total footprint of all the food services activities. We're talking about maybe 200 tons of CO2 equivalent.
He says that's roughly the same as 100 round-trip flights from Montreal to Paris. But the change meant removing some of the school's best-selling menu items. The beef burger, the smoked meat poutine, and the Philly steak sandwich are all gone. For some students, the shift is a good start.
We should follow what science says. We know that beef has a really big impact. So I think that's a really good thing because we're taking action on what the data says.
Iman Shafi leads the Graduate Student Association. She says students helped drive the decision, building on a student-led grading system introduced in 2022 that ranks meals by their environmental impact.
This is to make sure that we have knowledge about what is going on in our food, not just what we're eating, but also how it impacts the world around us.
Still, the change came with a risk. Beef burgers alone accounted for up to 5% of food sales. So as items were removed, more diverse options were added. Sushi, ramen, poke bowls. Benoit Beauséjour-Savard oversees food services at Polytechnique. He says the strategy is paying off, bringing 11% more students into cafeterias last semester, all without raising prices.
It's all below $10, so it's really important for us to be accessible.
Now some students and environmental groups want to see the school go even further.
Serve products and use products and sell products that are responsibly sourced.
Sheffy says that work is already underway.
For example, for the fries, they recently changed the fries so that it's Quebec fries, local from the South Shore.
While Polytechnique says it's the first post-secondary institution in North America to drop beef entirely, it expects others to follow suit. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil, CTV News.
Interesting take. Quebec has started its free shingles vaccine program. In fact, they've expanded it to people aged up 71 and more. Those who qualify can now make an appointment online. Shingles is a very painful resurgence of the same virus that causes chickenpox. The government website says 1 in 3 people will get it in their lifetime. There are approximately 27,000 cases of shingles each year in Quebec, including 600 hospitalizations and 10 deaths caused by the disease. A Scotties curling champion was crowned on Sunday, and it all came down to this.
Hitting it across the top of the second shot and moving it back the other direction. Final stall. Walker. Walker. Now here's Gordon. Here's Gordon. They got it by. Have they got this? Oh no, they touched it and it won't go. And it'll be a 5th championship for Carrie Anderson.
Unbelievable finish. Heartbreak for Caitlin Law. Suffers her first loss of the event. Anderson captures her 5th Scotties title, just the 3rd to do so, moving into a tie with Rachel Homan for most stalled time. Keely and Sawatsky, we've got a lot to talk about when it comes to groundhogs and how long spring or winter will last. But first, we've got a contest to get to.
Yes. All right. Let's talk about that. The Pure Country 92.7 Crack the Co-op number contest is on. Your CTV bonus word today for an extra entry is community. Text the word community to 10400 for your chance to win this growing jackpot. Standard message rates may apply. All right. Let's turn our attention now to the weather picture. We have been seeing some flurries in the area in a lot of parts of the province this morning. -8 to wake us up with those flurries in Regina. We do have winds coming in right now at 30 kilometers per hour. They are going to be stronger in the morning down towards the south and then lessening up as we get into the afternoon hours. -9 to wake us up in Saskatoon. Again, we have been seeing some flurries this morning. The flurries not really going to be sticking around in the area around Saskatoon, so don't worry too much about that. Winds are a little less right now in Saskatoon, currently coming in at 19 kilometers per hour. All right, let's take a look at this futurecast here. This is current, what you're seeing on the screen right now. So the system very much right around the area in Regina here. Areas around Swift Current, around Estevan, also seeing some more of those flurries right now. Saskatoon, as you can see, we're pulling away there. So a few more flakes on the way, but it's not really going to be impacting your afternoon at all. Prince Albert, though, we are seeing some of those flurries into the afternoon hours. This is at about 6 o'clock on your screen. And then we start to see it curving around Prince Albert and Saskatoon. Yorkton, also we're going to be seeing some flurries in the area north of the Parkland region there. Now let's look forward to Tuesday. This is at about 1:30 p.m. We do see some very small blips on the radar there, but you will notice the constant with all of this stop and go for flurries is the cloud cover. The next couple days, we're expecting to see some very heavy amounts of cloud cover. Let's talk about how much snow we can expect. Right now, we're saying by about 11:30 a.m., we're going to be seeing about 3 centimeters of snow for Regina, about 2 centimeters for Moose Jaw, and about 6 centimeters for Estevan. Looking forward to the rest of the day and into the early morning hours overnight there. Battleford seeing about 1 centimeter, Prince Albert about 1, Saskatoon about 1 centimeter. The total, again, this is by the end of the day, Estevan having seen about 8 centimeters of snow on the ground today. Today's forecast with the temperatures, though, really looking not so bad. We're seeing some temperatures above the seasonal average in most places other than Yorkton on the screen here. Yorkton reaching -13. That is just slightly below the seasonal average. -4 today for Moose Jaw, though, -5 for Saskatoon, -6 for Regina, -6 for Weyburn, and -8 for Estevan. 0 degrees for Swift Current. So again, seeing the warmest temperatures down in the southwest corner today. And the 7-day forecast looking amazing. 0 degrees tomorrow, 5 degrees though on Wednesday, 7 degrees on Thursday, 2 degrees on Friday, 3 on Saturday, and 5 degrees on Sunday. Looking towards Saskatoon now, not quite as warm, but still seeing some awesome temperatures, especially on Wednesday and Thursday. 5 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Time now for a look at your rural forecast, and we're seeing some really nice temperatures today. However, we still are seeing some flurries in the province. Spiritwood with some more of those flurries today, -6, -4 for Outlook, and -8 for Wynyard with that cloud cover. Down towards the south, more of the same, a bit warmer for temperature-wise, but still seeing some more of those flurries down south. 3 degrees for East End Cypress today, -2 for Rockglen, -1 for Coronach, -6 for Pilot Butte, and -9 for Broadview. Let's take a look at Sturgis, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from Sasktel, -13 this afternoon. Evening flurries today, so the afternoon a mix of sun and cloud, but be ready for those flurries later on, and east winds coming in up to 25 kilometers per hour.
Hello, Laura Dyken here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. For that, let's head south to the NHL's latest outdoor game in Tampa. The Lightning playing host to the Bruins. And here in the second, Jeremy Swayman not happy with Brandon Hagel poking away at the puck. And once Swayman backs away from that scrum, hey, someone wants in on the action. That would be the other goaltender in this game, Andrei Vasilevsky. They drop him. Ding, ding, ding. Let's go. Second goaltender fight in 2 weeks we've seen in the NHL. The previous one featured the Sharks and Panthers, Nedeljkovic, Bobrovsky. These ones throwing punches, haymakers from Vasilevsky, who earns the takedown. What a scene inside Raymond James Stadium. And there's John Cooper. Not sure he's dressed up as. But that was your must-see moment from Sunday. Tonight on TSN, if you are in the Jets region, TSN 3 has the Jets-Dallas game for you at 7 Central. Or you can check out college basketball. We've got a doubleheader over on TSN 5 starting at 5 Mountain Time, 8 Atlantic. That does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
Well, a colorful sight is taking over the famed canals of Venice. The annual Venice Carnival kicked off Sunday with a spectacular parade down the city's Grand Canal. This year's edition was a bit of a twist, taking on an Olympic theme, of course, as festivities begin over in Italy, with the Winter Games set to start in nearby Milan and Cortina on Friday already.
Yeah, this came up quick.
It really did. Why the rat?
Oh, it's a rat? I thought it was like a whale.
Yeah, confetti. It's a whale
looks
rat.
Awful.
It's a whale
What do you
rat.
think that city smells like? Like, is that water clean?
I've been, and it smells horrid. It smells horrid.
Okay.
But it is remarkably clean. This whole city shuts down at about 8 p.m., which we thought, why is there no nightlife here? And then just they come out, and you could eat off the streets. It's incredible.
Well, I don't care about the smell. I still want to go one day.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You have to go. You have to go. Question of the day. What is a day that you would like to relive over and over and over and over, just like Bill Murray in the classic Groundhog Day?
I actually cannot wait to show you guys these answers. There's one answer in particular that makes me laugh. We're going to get to that next. Let's start with Phil in Saskatoon saying, I just want to renew payday over and over and over again.
As long as the money stays from each day, right?
Yeah. Debbie is saying, a day I would like to relive over and over is my high school graduation. It was the last day I was together with all my classmates. The majority of them I started school with, a great bunch of people. How sweet. I love that answer. Okay, here's one that I had to put in. It made me laugh. The day I met my ex in the park, coming from Jen, I never would have let him kiss me, and I have told him, yeah, no, not ever, like I had planned. I don't think you'd want to relive that over and over. Just once. You just need to relive it once to change the trajectory. Jen, thank you for making me laugh this morning.
Maybe Jen has 106 ways she'd like to say no.
Do you think Jen's ex is watching this morning being like, hey, I have an ex named Jen?
She couldn't possibly be talking about me.
Who I kissed in the park.
I kissed a lot of people in parks.
Yeah. Okay, we want to hear from you. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan that QR code on your screen. We'll share some more answers in about 1 hour.
Was her name Jen?
The weather has been playing havoc across the country for weeks with heavy snowfalls in many parts. But farmers, especially in Atlantic Canada, are welcoming the winter conditions. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth explains why they're looking at big snow accumulations as a benefit, not a hindrance.
As this harsh winter continues, making it a challenge for many to get around or just be outside, meteorologist Jim Abraham sees an upside for farmers.
The good news is we're getting a snowpack.
Farmer Alan Melvin says heavy snowfall can be restorative, giving crops a better chance at growing later this year. That's particularly helpful following last summer's record-setting drought.
Some soil protection, some crop protection for things like winter wheat that are in the ground, and then that slow snow melt.
When the weather warms, the dry soil could be replenished in time for Nova Scotia's growing season.
The snowpack is actually more important to farmers and wells and the water resources than heavy rain.
In the winter, when the ground is hard, rain runs into the ocean and rivers, but stored water in the snow melts and runs off slowly, directly into the soil.
And the groundwater amounts increase, and everybody's happy.
Including Jordan Yamey, who lost 30% of her bean crops in 2025 because of dry conditions.
If there's a slow snow melt, that hopefully will replenish the water table and help out some of those wells and some of those ponds.
It would be welcome news for nervous farmers still reeling from their losses and crop damages following a dangerously dry summer. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
All right, it is Groundhog Day. Time for your morning mystery. It is an animal.
I'm going to guess groundhog without seeing
I don't think we have to guess.
No.
Yeah. At a sprint.
Writing it.
I hope it's something else. At a sprint, this animal reaches a maximum speed of 12.87 kilometers. That seems fast. The largest species of squirrel.
It's a groundhog.
Oh, brother.
You ruined all the fun. Heart rate during hibernation slows down to from 80 beats per minute to just 5 beats per minute. The answer is...
The answer is Bad Bunny. No.
Okay, groundhog.
Imagine if it's not, though.
Yeah.
It is a groundhog.
Of course, it is Groundhog Day. I have your first prediction is in Punxsutawney. Phil, did he see his shadow? We'll tell you coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Video consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we are still at -8. Some flurries in the area, although that system is moving away from Saskatoon. So good news there, -9 though to wake you up. By lunchtime in Regina, we'll still be sitting at that -8 mark with that heavy amount of cloud cover, -6 by the final bell. In Saskatoon, -7 at lunchtime. Again, we're still seeing some heavy cloud cover. Winds could be getting a little bit stronger at that time in Saskatoon, and then calming down a lot by final bell. -5 is where we'll be sitting at. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in both cities today, Regina and Saskatoon. The common price is $117.9, although in Regina you might find it for as low as $102.9, and in Saskatoon you might find it for as low as $107.9. Over to the farm markets now, where we find the street price of canola at $599.03 per ton and the futures price at $644.30 per ton. Amber durum wheat now at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat at $257.74 per ton. And the Canadian dollar trending up this morning. It's now at 73.74 cents US. After the break, why Toyota is issuing a recall for thousands of Prius models. Stay with us for the details.
Good morning. Welcome to your morning. The world's most famous groundhog has made its official prediction.
To look to the skies and report back to you that there is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound.
Punxsutawney Phil, the groundhog weather icon, saw his shadow when he was plucked from his warm burrow and thrust into the frigid air on Monday. According to Phil, that means 6 more weeks of winter ahead. Every year on February 2nd, today, Groundhog Day, rodents around the U.S., and there are some in Canada as well, and along with a lobster for some reason, make their long-range weather forecasting prediction. Phil is the most famous prognosticator of the bunch and lives in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Legend has it, if he sees his shadow, 6 more weeks of winter. If he doesn't, early spring. Again, apparently he saw it. That means 6 more weeks of winter. Uniting our nation is something many, including politicians, are trying to do, or so they say, but there is a quiet threat to Canadian unity in Alberta, where separatists are seeking independence. The group confirms it met with members of the Trump administration, but won't say who. Camille Karamali reports.
This is a sign of a movement gaining momentum. Week after week, lineup after lineup to sign up for an independent Alberta.
Alberta could be more prosperous and free on our own.
Now, in an interview with CTV's Question Period, a key member of the province's leading separatist group confirming it's held meetings with U.S. officials.
We're meeting at a very high level. People in our meetings are going, direct.
Stephen Miller?
I'm not going to say. I mean,
Why not?
We're not, because we have an agreement with the people that we're meeting with, that we're not disclosing the identities of the people that we're meeting with.
Just that it didn't include U.S. President Donald Trump. The group now looking to create a feasibility study on how an independent Alberta would be able to fund itself.
And put together a complete dossier so that we can just hand it over to whoever the government of Alberta is in power and say, hey, if Ottawa is giving you a hard time, here's an easy way out.
Alberta's premier has refused calls to denounce the movement, and on CTV's Question Period saying she won't do anything to stop her own caucus from signing on.
I don't police the responses of my MLAs. They can sign whatever petition that they want.
Not knowing if any have actually signed the petition, separatists in Alberta need 178,000 signatures by May for their petition to trigger a referendum on the province's independence. But Premier Danielle Smith herself keen on sticking with Canada.
My approach and the approach of our caucus as a united caucus has been to support a sovereign Alberta within United Canada.
But questions now on how long she can keep the juggling act going.
Because you can't, on the one hand, agitate to have the type of radical change that they're talking about, and on the other hand, say that you care about the Canadian economy and the future of the country.
And to add more fuel to the fire, a U.S. State Department official now confirming they did meet with the Alberta separatist group, but that no commitments were made.
Manitoba's premier will visit the remote northern community of Churchill, Manitoba this week to talk about the potential of its port.
Big energy play, defense, environmental protection. Churchill has it all in terms of nation building.
Currently, the port operates 4 months of the year. It ships crucial minerals to European markets and other supplies to the north. Ottawa has already earmarked this, as you know, as a transformative project with potential to support military presence in the north and provide a gateway for year-round trade through the Atlantic. Wab Kinew, the Premier of Manitoba, says the people who live in Churchill should be at the center of the conversation. He is scheduled to take part in a few events starting tomorrow. The Kremlin confirmed this week more talks will happen about Ukraine with the U.S. The trilateral talks are set for Wednesday and Thursday in Abu Dhabi. The latest round of talks did not result in any breakthroughs over the weekend. 12 miners were killed when drones attacked a bus in southeastern Ukraine. Ukrainian officials have also accused Russia of attacking a maternity hospital in Zaporizhia. Its local governor says at least 9 people were hurt there. Toyota, if you drive one of those, a recall has been issued for almost 20,000 cars in Canada. We're talking about the Toyota Prius and Prius Prime from 2023 to 2026. The notice from Transport Canada says there's a risk of the car rear door opening while driving. That's a scary thought. Affected owners will be notified by mail only, not text. In the meantime, drivers are recommended to turn on the lock function on the dashboard to reduce the risk. Saskatchewan's largest RV show and sale rolled into Saskatoon over the weekend. Nearly 100 RVs on display at Pearland Park. The show featured everything from more compact models to luxury fifth wheels and motorhomes. Visitors had the chance to explore the ins and outs, and one organizer says that those who attended the show were interested to see how RVs are updated over the years.
I think just kind of the cool, neat things they're seeing, the new looks, how sharp things are, how nice things are. We've got some really great compliments on the show itself. Like, again, just the way the display is, the team members here on the product specialists, just a very friendly, low-pressure kind of vibe, you know, just getting information.
This was the 4th year in Saskatoon. Saturday was a very important day for young entrepreneurs in Regina. Hosted at the Regina Connexus Arts Centre, Elevate XP saw 35 high school students pitch their business ideas. As a first-time showing, this was a big test for the team. The event had 35 students from 7 different schools and high schools in the area, raising around $8,000 for the students. In attendance were 6 inventors, 17 sponsors, and 200 tickets sold.
Again, Elevate XP means elevate your experience. And so again, you're young, you're trying to get as much experience as possible and optimize for growth and learning. At a young age, that means that, let's say they have a startup that are presented today, it's probably not going to be the same in the next 5 years, but in the skill they learn today could be applied to something else that they will be doing in the future.
All we do is we take all the grants, scholarships, and like all the funding opportunities in Sask for each sport and put them in one place so that people just have like this directory.
The group Fast Travel came in first, Task Local and Theramist came in third. Task Local also won People's Choice Awards. Love to know what they did. The Saskatchewan Roughriders were in Saskatoon over the weekend, and they brought along the Grey Cup at the 4th annual Winter Classic. Hallie Mandrick was there.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders traded in their cleats for skates on Saturday, thanks to the return of the Winter Classic. The annual event brings together rider players, alumni, and a number of special guests to face off in a hockey game, which raises money for the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation's mental health and literacy programs.
Lowest literacy rates in Canada and high suicide rates are in Saskatchewan, so trying to do our best in our part to help fix those. And then for this weekend in this game, it's a lot of fun on the ice, a lot of fun off the ice, something to look forward to for me personally every winter.
The Winter Classic is a major fundraiser for the program, allowing riders to connect with kids across the province.
And it's growing every year, so we usually raise about $75,000, somewhere around that, to go back to the program, which is really good. It's a really fun family event.
This year's game was particularly special as the reigning champs brought the Grey Cup along for fans to take pictures with.
Being from the States, I didn't know how big of a deal the Grey Cup was, and then after the clocks finally hit 0, you got to see all the emotion kind of run down on everyone's face that was born and raised here. It meant just that much more to me to see how much it meant to everyone, like players and fans. So it was pretty cool.
It was also an opportunity to see some familiar faces wear the green and white once again.
It comes back to that like feeling in my heart of just wanting to come back to Saskatchewan, be amongst fans and friends and old teammates and just be able to put on the green and just kind of reflect back on those times and sort of make myself whole again.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Okay, so we're talking all about groundhogs. How did this all start?
Okay, so I actually went to groundhog.org, and this is what they had to say. They say that Groundhog Day actually goes back to a Christian tradition called Candlemas, and this is what they used to say. They would say, if Candlemas be fair and bright, come winter, have another flight. If Candlemas brings clouds and rain, go winter, and do not come again. So that then got to Germany. It was actually Germany where they attached a groundhog to the whole tradition, and then, of course, people came to the U.S., and that's how it all got brought there. So a cool little piece of history for you to start your Groundhog Day. Of course, though, we have to talk about the predictions. Right now, we only have Punxsutawney Phil's prediction. Let's talk about what he said. The Philometer said, he saw his shadow, which means 6 more weeks of winter. Do not fret, though. Temperatures looking really nice right now. I have hopes that Punxsutawney Phil might be wrong. Not for today, of course. The radar and satellite showing that we are seeing some precipitation in the province today. That was some flurries overnight in areas around Saskatoon. We're still seeing them in areas around Regina and down through the southeast corner. Southwest overnight did get some of that freezing rain, so be careful on your commute this morning. Futurecast showing what we're seeing right now to start, so still seeing the largest part of that system right around Regina. It is pulling away from Saskatoon, though. We're just going to be talking about some heavy amounts of cloud cover there for the day. Into the later parts of the afternoon, we're really only seeing those flurries around Prince Albert there, and then it's going to start to curve around Prince Albert. We'll still be seeing it into the overnight hours in areas just east of Prince Albert and north of the Parkland region. Let's continue on, though. Talk about tomorrow. We're talking about just a few flurries in the areas in the southeast tomorrow afternoon, and then those should be disappearing later on into the day. Now, current temperatures, a nice little gradient that you're seeing on your screen there. Cold temperatures up north. Of course, we're still seeing the warmest temperatures in that southwest corner. Minus 34, though, in South End. So definitely a cold start to the day there. Melfort at minus 18, Hudson Bay at minus 25. Down towards the south, the southwest corner showing minus 1 in East End, minus 1 in Swift Current. That is slightly down from when we were at 0 degrees just a few minutes ago. Minus 9 in Weyburn, minus 9 in Estevan to start the day. Your 5-day forecast looking absolutely wonderful, though. This is where I start to doubt Punxsutawney Phil's predictions because in Regina, we are reaching 7 degrees by Thursday. It does drop down on Friday to 2 degrees, but let's enjoy these positive temperatures while we still have them. In Saskatoon, we're seeing minus 1 tomorrow and then 5 degrees on Wednesday and Thursday. So again, some very nice positive temperatures on the way. Checking in now with Candace Fisher from Fisher Hearing. We've talked about the ears and hearing and all about the brain, but let's go back to basics right now, Candace. What actually causes hearing loss?
You know, excellent question, and probably the easiest way to explain that is to talk about the different types of hearing loss.
Well, let's do that then. How many different types are there?
There's 4, actually. We have conductive hearing loss, sensorineural hearing loss, mixed, and auditory neuropathy spectrum disorder.
All right, well, let's start with that first one. You said it's conductive hearing loss. What is it?
Exactly. Conductive hearing loss. When sound waves are stopped from entering the outer or the middle ear canal, there's no way it can get through to where we need it to get to. And that blockage can be caused by many things. It can be wax, very, very simple. It can be fluid in the ear infection, damage to those tiny little bones in the ear, the ossicles, damage to the eardrum or the tympanic membrane, anything that stops that sound from getting through. The good news is typically conductive can be medically or surgically treated.
Okay, let's move on to the next one then. It's sensory neural hearing loss. It's a big word. What is it?
Yeah, so it's nerve damage. Basically, it's nerve damage. So that sound is entering through the outer and the middle ear canal. The damage occurs in that inner ear. So those tiny little hairs, they're like little cilias, and they're supposed to carry that sound through the auditory system up to the brain, and it's just not doing it effectively. And sensory neural hearing loss is typically permanent, often progressive, and is not typically medically or surgically treated.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the mixed hearing loss is a combo of the two.
You're good. You're good. You're paying attention. I love it. That's exactly right. I could have somebody say somebody that had farmed for 60 years and they have a known hearing loss, sensory neural or nerve damage. Maybe they've got their canal plugged with wax. So we want to get that wax out of there. We can treat that conductive portion of it, but that sensory neural or nerve damage portion is going to remain.
All right. The next one that you were talking about is auditory neuropathy spectrum disorder. Again, it's big words that we want to break down so we can help our audience understand that.
Yeah, this is more rare, and it can be really debilitating. And it's interesting because this would be somebody whose hearing loss actually shows normal, but just has an extraordinary amount of difficulty understanding speech. So this becomes more of a transmission issue than a hearing issue.
All right. So what are actually the most common types of hearing loss?
Yeah, great question. Typically depends on who you're seeing. If you're seeing a pediatric population, usually we're going to see a lot of conductive hearing losses just because ear infections can be very, very common at that age, just that eustachian tube's a little bit flat. I specialize in adult seniors, those with cognitive decline. So I see more sensory neural or nerve damage hearing loss.
All right. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Of course, as always, if you suspect hearing loss, the first step is a diagnostic exam, which Candace can help you with. You can head on over to her website for more info.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Mardi Gras roast beef supper is on February 6th at 6 p.m. It's being held at Our Lady of Peace Church on the 400 block of Broad Street North. And for more information, you can call 306-543-0421. The Weyburn Old Time Dance is on February 6th at 7:30 p.m. It's being held at Cecilia's Banquet Hall in Weyburn, and for more information, you can call 306-861-9929. And the Trigeminal Neuralgia Support Group is on February 7th at 10 a.m. It's being held on the 2200 block of Park Street. For more information, you can call 306-751-0761. If you'd like your event shown here, you can email us at reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca with at least 2 weeks' notice.
The Canadian dollar has become the worst performing G10 currency so far this year. It's up 0.59% against the U.S. dollar, trading at $1.36 to the U.S. currency. Other underperformers include the euro and the Danish krone, and the New Zealand dollar is the top performer, up more than 4% to the U.S. dollar this year. Gold, meanwhile, is extending its losses after its biggest plunge in more than a decade on Friday. Spot gold fell as much as 10% early this morning, and silver slumped as much as 16%. The sell-off has been driven largely by bullion-based ETFs and borrowed bets. And those are your morning business headlines for BNN Bloomberg. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
A Quebec mine is ramping up production of graphite. It's a critical mineral used for EV batteries and in the defense industry. Canada's rich natural resources are a key part of a plan to increase Canada's self-reliance. But as CTV's Geneviève Boschman learns, there are still a few roadblocks to overcome.
Saint-Michel-des-Saints is a small village on the edge of Quebec's vast forests. Its critical mineral deposits could put it on the map of Ottawa's New World Order, this by boosting Canada's self-reliance. Quebec mining company, coincidentally called Nouveau Monde or New World Graphite, hit pay dirt here more than a decade ago.
Our metal detectors was beeping throughout the fairly large area.
Graphite says the company has many uses, including in the defense and EV battery sectors.
So it's about 4.5% grade.
Founder and CEO Éric Desaulniers says that for now, Asia dominates the graphite market.
And the benefit to Canada and all G7 countries is to have a stable source of this critical minerals, but also at the right cost point.
Last year, the mine's financing hit roadblocks as several companies in the EV supply chain faltered.
This is the graphite.
But a test plant is up and running, and in November, Ottawa recognized the mine as a major project of national interest. The federal and provincial governments have invested. To go full steam ahead, the mine still needs to secure financing. Some have opposed the mine, fearing environmental fallout, but the Atikamekw First Nation of Manawan has since signed an impact benefits agreement.
Ouais, c'est ça.
And the mayor of Saint-Michel-des-Saints says he hopes the project will go ahead.
Ça va fleurir à Saint-Michel-des-Saints.
It will bring good-paying jobs to our region hit hard by U.S. tariffs on forestry, says Mario Venn. Families will return and our town will bloom.
This is where you're going to have all the machinery.
Kevin Ducharme is the mine's environmental director. He moved to the region years ago for its lakes, its forests.
It's normal to have concerns with a project like that. We're not in a mining region. People are not used to seeing mines.
He says the company is banking on the best mining practices, the best monitoring systems. There are still many steps to go, but the target date for commercial extraction here is the end of 2028. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Saint-Michel-des-Saints, Quebec.
It's February 2nd, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated birthday wish going out to these triplets, Aria, Brooklyn, and Charlotte. They turned 8 yesterday. We hope your day was amazing. Lots of love from your granny, Jerome, and Sam. Over the weekend, Duncan celebrated his 100th birthday with a visit from the Lieutenant Governor. Congratulations on such an amazing milestone. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Kate. She marked another trip around the sun yesterday. Lots of love from Cody, Harrison, Laura, and Nathan. Yesterday was Laura's special day. She turned 41. Happy happy birthday wishes coming to you from your mom, Sophie, Robin, and Dale. We also want to send a belated birthday wish out to Leslie, who marked her 60th this weekend. Lots of love from your granddaughters, Kalia, Aria, Zeta, and Kinley. Also celebrating this weekend was Kristen. Lots of love from your mom, sister, nieces, and nephew. Happy birthday. Happy birthday wishes also going out to Rainan and Talia. We hope both of you have such special days. This shout out coming from your mom. And celebrating today is Benjamin. Happy 5th birthday to you. Lots of love from your mom, dad, Harper, and Lainey. Turning 2 years old today is Serenity. Happy birthday to you with a ton of love from your Nana. Happy birthday also going out to Clara Rose. She turns 7 today. Your grandma and grandpa say they love you to the moon. Enjoy your special day. And turning 14 today is Kaya. Your dad, mom, and brother say they hope your birthday is just as amazing as you are. Happy birthday.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least 1 day in advance.
Looking at my text line, a few people want to win your contest.
Yes. Thanks to Kayleen again for giving the text word out. It's a bonus play for your mornings. I will call you and hopefully we'll crack the co-op number with you a little before 9 o'clock. Also, I'm going to be calling our All Access Pass winner coming up to win free concerts for the year. So if you've qualified for that, pick up your phone. And it muddy even the more contest waters here. Tomorrow, we're giving away 4 pairs of Hardy tickets. He's coming to Sastel Center in Saskatoon. We're playing Ticket Tag. If you don't know what that game is, it's up on our website. We will start tomorrow morning just before 6:30. Lots of chances to win with us. All the details at purecountry927.ca. Good luck.
We never get to give anything away here, so can Kayleen and I pick the winner from our text line?
Sure. Do you want to?
Go
ahead.
We never get to give anything away.
Do it, man.
Oh,
do it.
I feel so much power.
It's going to go to your head. I know it is.
Already did.
Okay.
Bad Bunny debutará más fotos.
An overwhelmed Bad Bunny warmed up for the Super Bowl by accepting 3 Grammys, including Album of the Year.
I'm going to say Eyes Out. We don't hate them. We love our people. We love our family. And that's the way to do it. With love.
Immigration was also on the minds of Song of the Year winners Billie Eilish and Phineas.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
And Best New Artist winner Olivia Dean.
I guess I want to say I'm up here as a granddaughter of an immigrant. I'm a product of bravery, and I think those people deserve to be celebrated.
Jelly Rolls celebrated Jesus after winning a trio of trophies.
Jesus is for everybody. Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus is Jesus, and anybody can have a relationship with him.
Talk about a trailblazer.
A lengthy in memoriam segment featured Reba McEntire's first ever Grammys performance. And all-star tributes to Ozzy Osbourne and to D'Angelo and Roberta Flack.
I feel like making love. Kendrick Lamar!
The night's biggest winner was Kendrick Lamar with 5 awards, including Record of the Year, giving him 27 lifetime, passing Jay-Z as the Grammy's most awarded rapper.
So I appreciate y'all. God is the glory. Love y'all.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Now to a granddad showing off his moves.
Oh, yeah.
Start out, pretty gingerly. Then it escalated very quickly. Can't help himself.
Because when you see the word Riz, this is what comes to my mind.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
One drink leads to...
All right, well, it might be Mondays. He might be a little grumpy, just like this kid.
You want me to carry this? Seriously? Why do I have to do everything? Can't you just have someone else help you? That's what dads are for.
Parents know this is what it's like. This is Sean. He's parodying what happens when you ask your kids to help you do anything, really, like carrying a bag, complaining the whole time, pretending to be out of breath, just being too weak.
This is
just like reality.
Too real. Grab a new coffee and fill it up to the top. We're back after this. It's Monday, February 2nd.
Alberta could be more prosperous and free on our own.
Alberta's separatist movement confirms high-level meetings with U.S. officials, but won't say who. Will it be an early spring? We've got the predictions, but Atlantic Canada is sure dealing with a mess out there.
To look to the skies and report back to you that there is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound.
Punxsutawney Phil deserves a Grammy for his performance each year. My goodness, those coming up just a moment. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Keeleen. Good morning. Happy Monday and happy Groundhog Day.
Happy Groundhog Day indeed. The predictions are in. Canada's beloved groundhog predicting an early end to the wintry weather.
It's an early spring.
So Wyerton Willie did not see his shadow, meaning we are in for an early arrival of spring-like temperatures.
And this directly contradicts what we saw earlier from Punxsutawney Phil, which means maybe just an early spring for Canada.
Well, let's take a look at the U.S.
To look to the skies and report back to you that there is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound.
There is much different.
Yeah.
A lot more pageantry.
Yes.
Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, meaning he has said 6 more weeks of winter. This is in Massachusetts, of course, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I
mean, temperatures are looking pretty good here, so I think Wyerton Willie is a little more correct for us.
We just get to pick our rodent. That's all. Yeah. Let's get to your news for this part of the hour. The race to win the lucrative contract to replace Canada's aging submarines is heating up. One of the competitors is South Korea's Hanwha. It's pulling out all the stops, including a plan to sail the submarine it wants to sell across the Pacific Ocean right here to Canada. Judy Trin reports.
The minister responsible for defense procurement, Stephen Freer, paid a visit to Hanwha's shipyard today. Hanwha is pitching speed, but also alliances with more than 20 Canadian companies. Some of those CEOs joined the Secretary of State on this trip.
Because this has now evolved into a government-to-government situation. It's a big, big procurement. This is going to be a relationship with the winner for years, decades to come. It'll come down to who can who can present the best economic opportunity to Canada.
The Royal Canadian Navy wants to buy up to 12 new submarines. Freer checked out Hanwha's KSS-3 model that it wants to sell to Canada.
Put your hands up here.
Okay. Okay. CTV News was also given a tour, but we were not allowed to film because of security protocols. But we can tell you that the attack submarine can hold about 50 crew members and that it will have the ability to launch torpedoes and vertical missiles that can hit land targets. Using robotic technology, Hanwha can build a submarine within 6 years. Its technology, Ontario Shipyards is interested in bringing to Canada.
I mean, what they do here is cutting edge. It's absolutely fantastic. If we can bring just a fraction of that to Canada, I think us as a country would be a lot further ahead in our shipbuilding endeavors.
The deadline for Hanwha and its German rival, TKMS, to submit their bids is March 2nd. In May, the Korean Navy plans to sail the KSS-3 to Canada to demonstrate the sub's ability. Judy Trin, CTV News, Changwon, South Korea.
We may be in the depths of winter, but work for farmers in this country never really stops, as you know. And right now, they're facing the harsh realities of high tariffs and low crop prices. And the market uncertainty could be impacting grain deliveries as well. CTV's Allison Bamford reports.
Winter can feel long and drawn out for farmers waiting to get back into the field. Rob Stone spends the cold months maintaining equipment, planning ahead, and selling grain to pay the bills.
Most of the wheat is gone.
Crop prices, cash flow, and storage usually dictate when Stone sells his grain. He moved on his wheat a little earlier this year, which made for a slower December. Recent numbers from Statistics Canada show producers across the country delivered less grain to elevators, mills, and crushing plants last month. Wheat, oats, and rye saw the biggest dip.
Prices aren't what you would want. In fact, they're probably at or below a break-even price, so that's got to be holding some people back from deliveries.
Domestically, oilseed processors experienced a busier December, crushing more than 1 million tons of canola, up 6.1% year over year. An increase possibly fueled by stagnant canola exports to China due to punishing tariffs as farmers tried to offset their export losses.
Farmers didn't have another viable alternative to sell into the grain handling system.
But that's about to change. China has reportedly ordered shipments of Canadian canola in advance of the tariffs set to be lowered in March, a move that experts say could bode well for other commodity prices.
It makes good economic sense for farmers to sort of hold off and see if there's going to be a price rally that may carry over.
Back on the farm, Stone says market uncertainty is always a concern, but he has hope.
At the farm gate level, right now, it feels like things are working well in spite of our challenges.
A good feeling to have heading into the next season. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Jeremy, there was some military training happening in Prince Albert this weekend.
Yeah, an armed forces training area has reopened there after 15 years. Jasmine Peltier has all the details.
On Saturday, 56 members of the Canadian Armed Forces were hard at work training, trudging through snow just north of Prince Albert. Major Ramsey Belisle says the wooded area is ideal for basic maneuver training.
It's just all basic to be able to hone our skills so that we can augment the regular force or deploy or have the soldiers have the experience to deploy to Latvia.
For the last 2 weekends, the Canadian Armed Forces has been conducting winter survival training for members of all ranks at the Prince Albert Range training area, although the property is no longer used as a range. In addition to the North Saskatchewan Regiment, members of the 38 Combat Engineer Regiment and 38 Service Battalion participated in a snowmobile course, chainsaw usage, and winter operations training. Captain Ryan Cresswell says the training prepares members to live outside in winter conditions.
How to set up our 10-man Arctic tents and how to snowshoe, pull the toboggan, and we'll do some on improvised shelters.
The training area closed in 2011 due to lack of maintenance, but the military has been working since 2019 to bring it back up to standard.
B Company, we have a platoon of soldiers in Prince Albert with the North Saskatchewan Regiment. 10 minutes, we jump in the vehicles and we're out here.
Belisle says the recently reopened training space still has an issue with trespassing.
A lot of the activities that we're going to be doing in here, trespassing, it's not safe.
The area will be used for training year-round. Jasmine Peltier, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Well, Daryl, those in Atlantic Canada experiencing their own Groundhog Day because they're getting another storm.
Yeah, powerful nor'easter, the third major winter storm in 3 weeks, is bearing down on parts of Nova Scotia and Newfoundland.
I think it's just kind of the thing that we expect, and the Maritimes, Atlantic Canada, they're used to this.
Eastern Newfoundland, including the Avalon Peninsula, under an orange winter storm warning. A total snowfall between 30 and 50 centimeters is possible, except for parts of the southern Avalon, which is expecting 20 to 30. Lucky them, before precipitation changes over to rain. The Kremlin confirmed this morning more talks will happen later this week with Ukraine and the U.S. Trilateral talks are set for Wednesday and Thursday in Abu Dhabi. The latest round of talks did not result in any breakthroughs. Over the weekend, 12 miners were killed when drones attacked a bus in southeastern Ukraine. Ukrainian officials have accused Russia of attacking a maternity hospital in Zaporizhia. Its local governor says at least 9 people were injured. U.S. President Donald Trump says the Kennedy Center will close for 2 years for renovations. Social media post from the president says work will start in July. The center has gone through a series of changes during President Trump's second term. After taking office, several board members were fired and replaced with Trump allies. The center was renamed to the Donald J. Trump and the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Performing Arts. Since the changes happened, several artists have canceled musical performances. On Saturday, the Mackenzie Art Gallery celebrating African Heritage Month. African Canadian history dates back to the late 1800s and early 1900s on the prairies. Many settlers moved from Oklahoma seeking better opportunities. As one of the Saskatchewan residents born of African descent, Saturday was important for Carol Lafayette Boyd.
In the 1800s, there were many people that came up after the gold rush. A lot of people didn't know that there was a black settlement up near Maidstone. They came in 1910, and my great-grandmother was among those people that came there. And my own family came in 1906 right here to Regina. And I think my father was one of the first persons of African descent to be born here in 1907.
Among other notable figures highlighted were Dr. Shad, who worked in the medical field in the late 1890s, George Smith, who served in World War I, and William Earl Lafayette, Carol's dad, who served in World War II. In other news this morning, Justin Bieber returned to the stage for last night's Grammy Awards.
The best word, slide city, you know what that means. I'm coming up on you quickly.
Finished his workout and went to the stage. Apparently, Bieber was mostly away from the stage since 2022, but he was up for 4 Grammys last night for his album Swag, including Album of the Year. Bieber, however, didn't take home any hardware. Album of the Year went to Bad Bunny.
I want to dedicate this award to all the people that had to leave their homeland, their country, to follow their dreams.
Bad Bunny made history as the first Latin artist to win Album of the Year. He dedicated his win to the people of Puerto Rico and spoke out against the U.S. immigration crackdowns. Bad Bunny will be back on the stage next Sunday to headline the Super Bowl halftime show right here on CTV.
Oh, the Grammy goes to Luther Vandross.
Whoopsie. Cher had a bit of a mix-up announcing the late Luther Vandross as Record of the Year winner. The actual winner was Kendrick Lamar, who sampled Vandross on his track. Kendrick Lamar won 5 Grammys. He also broke Jay-Z's record for the most awarded rapper in Grammy history. Cher was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award.
I thought the sun rose in your eyes.
Other highlights from the show include all-star tributes to Roberta Flack and Ozzy Osbourne. Joni Mitchell also won her 11th Grammy for Best Historical Album. My, oh my. Let's get over to the Weather Center. We don't trust rodents. We trust Kayleen Sawatsky. Good morning.
Good morning. And although we do trust more of what's actually happening on our weather systems than the actual groundhogs predicting it, we do have to talk about it because it's Groundhog Day and it's fun. So bear with me here, folks. We're starting in the U.S. Punxsutawney Phil. This is the Philometer. Did Phil see his shadow? We've been talking about it this morning. Yes, Phil did see his shadow. 6 more weeks of winter, according to Phil. In Canada, we had Willie doing the forecasting here, and Willie's forecast is saying early spring. So I'm more inclined to be believing Willie this morning because if you take a look at our 5-day forecast, temperatures are looking really nice in Regina, getting up to 7 degrees by Thursday. So today, not quite that. We are seeing some flurries, -6 for the afternoon today, 0 degrees tomorrow, 5 degrees on Wednesday, 7 on Thursday, and 2 on Friday. In Saskatoon, again, seeing some really nice temperatures, -5 today, and that is still above the seasonal average. -1 tomorrow, 5 degrees on Wednesday and Thursday, mix of sun and cloud, and then 0 degrees on Friday. Before we get to those really nice temperatures, though, we have to talk about what's happening today, and that is the flurries. So Regina, we're seeing that this morning. Saskatoon, we did see some of those earlier on. It does seem to be pulling away from Saskatoon. Prince Albert is going to be seeing some more of those flurries later on into the afternoon as well. well. And then it's going to start curving around Prince Albert. It's going to be falling in areas right along that Manitoba border in areas north of the Parkland region. And then we're looking forward to tomorrow, where the southeast corner is going to be getting just a few flurries, just a few little blips on the radar there. Let's talk about temperatures today coming along with those flurries. 0 degrees for Swift Current, so still continuing that trend from last week, where we're seeing the warmest temperatures down in the southwest corner of the province. -4 for Moose Jaw today, -7 for Weyburn, -8 for Estevan, -12 now for Yorkton. That is a notch above where we were predicting earlier, so it has fluctuated a little bit. -8 for Prince Albert, -5 for Saskatoon, and -4 for the Battlefords. All right, let's take a look outside this morning, because we were talking about those flurries. So Saskatoon, that live look looking pretty good this morning. Again, the flurries have pulled away from the city. Regina, your commute is a little bit more tricky this morning. We are seeing some fog, and again, with those flurries, visibility is reduced. Be careful out on your commute.
This day in history, February 2nd, 1957, Wyerton Willie made his first forecast. He did not see his shadow, predicting an early spring. February 2nd, 2014, Philip Seymour Hoffman was found dead in a Manhattan apartment of an apparent drug overdose. He was 46. February 2nd, 1901, Queen Victoria's funeral was held in St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle.
In case you missed it, millions of crawling baby crabs are blanketing Christmas Island as part of a twice-a-decade event. Now, most years, few or sometimes none at all crabs survive this crossing after coming out of the ocean. But this year, people on the island say it's basically the opposite. They say there's an impressive amount of them, and they will now live in the jungle areas of the island for the first few years of their lives. Aren't they just the cutest?
They are, but the camera just went over top of them, and I'm wondering, I hope the cameraman didn't step on any of them.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Gotta watch where you're stepping.
Yep. Yeah, sure do. Question of the day is, it's Groundhog Day, of course, so we're asking which day you'd love to relive. Let us know your answers. I guess you can still chime in, but we're sharing the last few on the air.
Yes. So a few more answers to share. Heather saying, I would love to relive the day my son got married over and over again. All the family was together, and it was such a wonderful day. And wedding really seemed to be the theme on our text line this morning. Donna saying, my wedding day I would relive for sure, minus the big storm that night. But they do say that if it rains on your wedding day, it's a blessing. Still married 31 years later.
That is true. That is true.
That's a good one. All right, thank you for sharing, Donna. Over to Michelle saying, I would relive the day that I became a pilot. It was such a great day, and I was with the best group of people. That's very impressive.
That is impressive.
I like that one.
What a cool job.
Fun.
Yeah, Kim saying a day that she would relive is a family celebration with all the grandparents and parents there, with everyone looking their best, on their best behavior, dancing and celebrating together. I like that you have to put the on their best behavior, because we all have been to those family reunions where we're like, oh.
Things get unruly at Kim's house.
Yeah. Phil's saying payday. You got to relive that one
as long as that money keeps accumulating.
Yeah, you don't want it to disappear and then come back and disappear.
Right?
Debbie's saying that she'd like to relive her high school graduation, the last day that she was with all of her classmates, the majority of them that she started school with, a great bunch of people. And last but not least, my personal favorite answer, Jen saying she would like to redo that day that she met her ex in the park. Wouldn't have let him kiss her. Would have said, yeah, no, not ever.
Yikes.
And again, I say, I hope Jen's ex is not watching this morning thinking, is this about me?
Kind of hope he is.
I hope he is. Yeah.
There's going to be an interesting conversation via the Facebook later.
Jen, I want an update if you get a text later. Thank you so much for participating in our question of the day. We're back right after this.
A new study suggests cursing may give you an extra boost at the gym. Researchers at Keele University found that repeating a swear word helped college students push a little harder on a strength test. According to the researchers, uttering a few expletives as you lift may help you stay focused and give it your all. People who used words that would normally be bleeped also found their task more positive and funny. Whether you're adding a bleep to your bench press or not, strength training is important. The National Institutes of Health recommends strength training at least twice a week, which involves working each major muscle group, including your arms, legs, chest, back, and torso. You can hit the gym, do some bodyweight moves at home, or take a yoga or Pilates class. Regular strength workouts can improve metabolism, lower risk of injury, and boost bone health. They can also improve sleep, blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
The month of February has been proclaimed as African Heritage Month to honor, celebrate, and recognize the legacy of African Canadians across our great province. Rita Amodia is in studio with us this morning. She hosts a popular radio show on community radio here in town. Rita, thanks for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
She is also our associate producer on maternity leave, so it's great to actually see you in person for a change.
I know, right?
Really nice.
It's great to come out of the house for a change.
It's great to be out of the house. I feel every bit of that. How important is Black History Month, African History Month, to you?
It's important because it celebrates our heritage, it celebrates our culture. Coming here from Nigeria, that was something I missed a lot, celebrating our culture, our traditions, our dressing, our way of life. So it's very important for us to celebrate those who have come here and made an impact in Canada.
You found a lot of it, though. You hear it weekly on your show. Is it nice to connect and have those conversations?
Oh, it is. It was a form of me reaching out to people. So I put on the radio, when I came to Canada, I put on the radio, I was like, oh, wait, where are the Nigerians here? And then I met lots of Nigerians who have done incredibly well. So I was like, you know what? Let me have a show that could put a spotlight on them, on the contributions they've done. Some of them have been here for like 35 years, 30 years, and they've done so much here. So I was like, okay, let's put a spotlight on them. And also the music. I was like, where are the Nigerian music? So that's what I did with the show.
We're not going to pretend that racism doesn't exist and discrimination doesn't exist. Is having those conversations in a very public way part of getting us over that hump of acceptance and normalizing all of those things?
Oh, yes. Trust me. Like one of the other reasons, cultural awareness, also erasing the stereotype about Africa, and also trying to, in a way, erase that feeling of racism. Because sometimes I would say that people don't get to know you, or people, because of ignorance, people do certain things. I'm like, okay, get to know these people, these Nigerians, these people that probably you might be racist towards, and see that, you know what, we're all one.
How do we start those conversations? That's a difficult thing to do, right?
By, I think, individually, us acknowledging the other person, acknowledging dignity, acknowledging that the person exists, not by the person's color. When I look at you, the first thing I'm not saying is like, you're white. That's the first thing that we start with. Those are the kind of conversations that we should have. First of all, recognize that the person is human. The person has a heart. The person has blood. The person bleeds. So that's how we should, first of all, look at one another, and then we can continue those conversations and know that, you know, irrespective of wherever they've come from, they can do immeasurable things in a society.
Are you hopeful that we get to a point where we don't have to have a month marking African history because it's just part of our collective history?
Yes, but the reason for the month, I don't think we should do it for just a month. I think we should get to a point where unconsciously we are celebrating African history. If you celebrate a month, I mean, we're celebrating Valentine's Day. It's just a day to just mark it, definitely. But aside from the month, in everyday lives, you could also celebrate African heritage, African culture besides the month. So the month can still be there, but you can do it in your everyday lives by celebrating me also.
Promote the radio show. That's part of why you're here.
Oh, definitely.
On Saturdays, you have these conversations with great Nigerian people and people from all walks of life on your show.
Yes. I have different people, doctors who have come who have done extraordinary things. So it's on Saturday, every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. on, can I say where?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. On CJTR 91.3 FM, Access Now Community Radio. So it's about there you feel the Niger flavor. Make I put down for you there. So we speak kind of like Nigerian pidgin. So you might hear some of that. So it might not just be English, because in Nigeria, I'm going to say this to you, we have 250 languages in Nigeria. So.
We've learned. We've learned over time.
Oh, he has, definitely.
I am running for president of Nigeria. That's my mission.
I'm happy you didn't say prime minister.
Prime minister. Well, president, prime minister, whatever. King.
Because there's no prime minister of Nigeria.
Thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes with us having this important conversation. You can check her out on the radio on Saturdays in Regina and area.
Thank you.
Just before 8:30 here on Your Morning. Thank you for being with us as Canada looks to enhance its trading capabilities. Expanding the port of Churchill will be a critical part. Arctic gateway for global trade. Now, Manitoba's Premier is promoting it as an energy powerhouse. As CTV's Alison Bamford reports, the Premier is now heading to the north this week.
The polar bear capital of the world could also one day become a sea trade superpower.
Big energy play, defense, environmental protection. Churchill has it all in terms of nation building.
Ahead of the First Ministers meeting last Thursday, Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew spoke highly of plans to unlock potential at the Port of Churchill, announcing he will fly to the remote northern community this week to hear from locals, who he says should be at the center of the conversation.
I think the Premier being there is a really important step.
The port currently operates just 4 months of the year, shipping critical minerals to European markets and other supplies to the north. Ottawa has earmarked the port as a transformative project, seeing potential as a reliable part of a supply chain that could support military presence in the north and a gateway for year-round trade through the Atlantic.
Because of the geography of where Churchill is, it saves sailing time upwards to, a week of sailing time versus, say, going through Vancouver.
Saving time would save money, another factor making Churchill attractive. One expert says the expansion is quite feasible, but he questions what might happen to the town's other major industry.
It's one thing to be a big industrial port, and it's another thing to be a tourist town. And I'm not sure how you blend the tourist town with a big industrial port.
Manitoba's Premier is scheduled to take part in a tourism roundtable and a town hall with community members in Churchill on Tuesday. He's also meeting with Indigenous leaders and expected to be on hand for a funding announcement related to marine conservation. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Winnipeg.
HMCS Charlottetown is on its way to the Pacific for its latest operation. The warship left Halifax last night to begin a 6-month tour of duty. Vanessa Wright reports.
It was an exciting but nerve-wracking moment.
A bit nervous. I'm in the Air Force. It's my first time on a ship, and it's the first time I've been deployed.
Laura Roy is one of many people heading off on a 6.5-month deployment. An emotional goodbye for family members and loved ones Sunday at the Halifax dockyard.
Well, up until this morning, I had black hair, so that pretty much describes how I feel. But in all sincerity, I'm feeling anxious, but I'm really proud and happy.
Very emotional. I'm very proud of her, what she does, and it's part of the business.
His Majesty's Canadian ship Charlottetown is headed for the Indo-Pacific as part of Operations Horizon and Neon.
We're going to be, doing some diplomatic and military engagement efforts in the Indo-Pacific, a bunch of different port visits along the way.
It's the Department of National Defence and the Canadian Armed Forces' contribution to Canada's Indo-Pacific strategy.
And so we are the maritime component going to promote peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region.
But even with a difficult send-off, family members expressed appreciation for the courageousness of those serving the country.
I'm really proud, and we have to support our troops, especially now given the political climate. But there's a lot of camaraderie on board, and we have a wonderful country, and it's worth defending and supporting our NATO.
Making an emotional goodbye a proud one. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Across North America, groundhogs are crawling out into the cold, predicting the weather ahead.
As town criers for Willie, we're proud to proclaim no shadow he spotted, no sunshine he claimed. So once again, the crier's bell did ring. Yes, Willie predicts, now hear this, it's an early spring!
Ontario's Wiarton Willie is predicting warm weather ahead. The rodent reported not seeing his shadow, according to the mayor and town criers. Sadly, Nova Scotia's Shivadakdi Sam will be slumbering this season, the province having to cancel her event because of blowing snow. But it says because she won't see her shadow today, according to folklore, that means an early end to winter.
T'es-tu sûr? Il est sûr.
And in Quebec, the furry Fred La Marmotte made a sunny prediction, forecasting an early spring after freezing cold across the country. The Gaspé region famous groundhog did not see his shadow this morning.
It is my job this February 2 to look to the skies and report back to you that there is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound.
Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, the iconic groundhog, predicting 6 more weeks of winter. Phil is the most famous rodent, forecasting the weather since the 1800s. Legends claiming it's been the same single animal all these years. Regina Pats erased a 2-goal deficit to beat the Moose Jaw Warriors Sunday.
Brown stops in the corner and gets smoked by Ziprit. No penalty on the play. Now in front, McNutt, stop, rebound, scores!
Caden Brown, the hero in overtime, is 22nd of the year. The Pats complete the comeback and win it 3-2.
Loose, picked up by Coots, it's put in front. Now it's Oiring in the circle, a shot, save made. A backhand shot, a save by Gardner again. Oiring wrap around, loose puck in the far corner, unable to be put in. Raiders all over them. Here's Rudolph, a shot. He puts it high and wide. Blade reorganized.
Blades goalie Evan Gardner was named first star, turning aside 45 shots he faced in a losing effort. Aiden Oiring's 22nd of the year you just saw there stood up as a game winner. It was a power play marker. Raiders continue to run the East. They've got 78 points. So all the Groundhogs have made their predictions, and this week does feel like it's warming up.
Yeah, so a lot of places in the province seeing temperatures above the seasonal average today, although we do have to talk about the active weather that's still making it feel like winter. So a lot of active weather in the province overnight. Mainly we saw flurries in areas around Saskatoon, Prince Albert, Regina. Down in the southwest, though, that's where we're seeing the warmer temperatures. So of course you see those other colors there, the pinks and the greens, indicating that rain and freezing rain. Definitely, if you're waking up with us from Swift Current, take it easy on your commute this morning. Roads are going to be slick. Let's look at the current conditions. This is right now, so we're still seeing some flurries in the areas around Regina, around Swift Current, and then, of course, down through Estevan as well, Weyburn as well, seeing some of those flurries this morning. Areas around Lloydminster also seeing some flurries. Into the later parts of the afternoon, we mainly see it disappearing from the south in a lot of places. You just see a few blips in the area. There's around Estevan. Other than that, we're talking about the snow still falling up north, areas around Prince Albert, and then it starts to curve around the city later on into those overnight hours. Tomorrow, we also are seeing some very light flurries in the area around Yorkton, down through Estevan into the afternoon hours. Don't worry too much about that. That's not going to be a whole lot more of that snow. Current temperatures now, the ombre that we're seeing on the screen there looking a lot more favorable than what we have been seeing last week. We're just seeing those pink colors way up north, indicating those really cold temperatures. Mainly, I want to draw your attention over to South End. We haven't budged this morning. We've just been stuck at minus 34. Very cold start to the day there. Minus 18, though, in Prince Albert right now. Minus 20 in Melfort. Minus 27 in Hudson Bay. Down towards the south, looking quite beautiful. Minus 1 right now in East End, minus 2 in Swift Current, minus 5 in Moose Jaw, minus 9 waking us up in Saskatoon, and minus 8 in Regina right now. Later on this afternoon, a lot of places seeing temperatures above that seasonal average, other than Yorkton. Yorkton still slightly below that seasonal average with a high of minus 12 this afternoon. Moose Jaw, though, with those flurries, minus 4, Weyburn, minus 7, minus 8 for Estevan, and minus 8 expected for Prince Albert as well. Take a look at this 7-day forecast, though. It really looks great. 0 degrees tomorrow for Regina, 5 degrees on Wednesday with a mix of sun and cloud, and 7 degrees on Thursday. Just beautiful. Temperatures do fall off from there into the weekend, but still seeing positive numbers. Saskatoon, minus 1 tomorrow. A little bit more sunshine expected on Wednesday with that high of 5 degrees. 5 degrees on Thursday as well, so things are going to be getting slushy.
With the growing influence and prevalence of artificial intelligence, Canadians can never be too careful when it comes to data security. So we are joined now by Denny Villeneuve, who's going to help us learn how we can safeguard ourselves. Denny is with tech company Kyndryl Canada. Good morning.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you for coming in. I think in this day and age, most people kind of get an idea of why data security is important. But we've got the expert here. I guess give us the recap on why it is so important for Canadians to be careful about their data.
Well, thank you. This week is Data Privacy Week, and it's a good reminder that our personal information has real value. You know, we share data every day through our phones, apps, online services, and if it's mishandled, the consequences can be serious, from identity theft to fraud. So really important to make sure that we have that awareness when we're dealing with AI. AI has changed the game because it can process huge amounts of data very quickly, and that's powerful. But it also means privacy gaps can spread faster if protections aren't built in from the start. So we're seeing that right now on how quickly new AI chatbots can really take off. So
are Canadians at greater risk because of all this explosion of AI now?
You know, AI isn't something Canadians should fear. It's something we need to understand and learn how to use well, because it's not going away. Just like when search engines first launched, you know, people learned how to use them safely, and we were better off.
Okay. What changes do you expect in cyber threats and data privacy in the next little while as AI continues to advance?
What we're seeing is that, you know, from a cyber threat perspective, cyber threats are coming at us at the speed of AI. So we need to be reacting and responding at the speed of AI. And the same thing goes for our privacy. For example, there's a new chatbot that just became Claudebot, now Maltbot, that became really popular in the last 96 hours that people are installing and have unfeathered access to their PCs if they don't do it appropriately. And that exposes them to risks where what we've seen is potentially someone asking the bot, you know, can you share the social insurance number or the banking information of the person that installed it on their computer. So you need to be very aware of certain things. And
measuring how quickly things are changing in hours as opposed to anything else is a little frightening. Any advice, I guess, as we wrap up here for Canadians and organizations to ensure that their privacy is prioritized?
So, you know, as a good rule of thumb, you know, if the product is free, you're often the product. So, you know, you're paying with your data. So you need to understand that, you know, what you're using and the choice of the tools that you're using, you need to match it with how sensitive it is. So especially don't give a chatbot data from your personal information or your work capabilities, or like basically giving it access to stuff you would use in a work environment when it's not cleared to be able to do that. So.
All right, that's some good pointers there, and just some things to keep in mind from Denny Villeneuve with Kyndryl Canada. Thank you so much for a few minutes this morning.
Thank you very much.
Hockey fans in Ottawa stepped into the past, all while making history. The Ottawa Junior Canadians celebrated 50 years of hockey in the first outdoor game ever played in the Eastern Ontario Junior Hockey League. CTV's Josh Morano reports.
For Pierre Rompre, Saturday is about more than a game. He's making history.
It is amazing. It actually, the vibe and the atmosphere is very nice, and the temperature is a little cold, but you know what? We're here to cheer them on.
Rompre is one of dozens at the Jim Tubman Chevrolet Sens rink for a game between the Ottawa Junior Canadians and Ottawa West Golden Knights, here to witness the first outdoor hockey game in Eastern Ontario Junior Hockey League history.
We wanted to play against the Ottawa West Golden Knights because, again, they've been around 50 years as well, and there are, believe it or not, arch rivals. So our kids have been looking forward to this date for a while because they see it on TV, and it's very rare.
He came to me last summer and said, you want to do this? And I said, absolutely. So we're really excited to be here.
The game also marking another milestone, 50 years of Junior Canadians hockey.
They've been a constant for the past 50 years, and they do a great job tying the league and the community with events like this.
Mayor Mark Sutcliffe in attendance for the ceremonial face-off.
This is amazing. It's history happening right here. First outdoor game for this league in Canada. It's incredible to see the community here on a cold day, to see this rink being used for this.
Players on the ice say the experience is a dream come true.
The conditions are amazing. The ice is great. We even have makeshift penalty boxes, stands, so it's a great turnout. I'm incredibly grateful to be able to participate in this opportunity.
For fans like Rompre, this is a day that won't soon be forgotten.
The outside, the atmosphere, that's where we're Canadian, and that's where the game started, and they should continue to do it.
Josh Morano, CTV News.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders were in Saskatoon over the weekend, and they brought along that Grey Cup at the 4th Annual Winter Classic. Hallie Madrick has the story.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders traded in their cleats for skates on Saturday, thanks to the return of the Winter Classic. The annual event brings together rider players, alumni, and a number of special guests to face off in a hockey game, which raises money for the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation's mental health and literacy programs.
Lowest literacy rates in Canada and high suicide rates are in Saskatchewan, so trying to do our best in our part to help fix those. And then for this weekend in this game, it's a lot of fun on the ice, a lot of fun off the ice, something to look forward to for me personally every winter.
The Winter Classic is a major fundraiser for the program, allowing riders to connect with kids across the province.
And it's growing every year, so we usually raise about $75,000, somewhere around that, to go back to the program, which is really good. It's a really fun family event.
This year's game was particularly special as the reigning champs brought the Grey Cup along for fans to take pictures with.
Being from the States, I didn't know how big of a deal the Grey Cup was, and then after the clocks finally hit zero, you got to see all the emotion kind of run down on everyone's face that was born and raised here. It meant just that much more to me to see how much it meant to everyone, like players and fans. So it was pretty cool.
It was also an opportunity to see some familiar faces wear the green and white once again.
It comes back to that feeling in my heart of this wanting to come back to Saskatchewan, be amongst fans and friends and old teammates and just be able to put on the green and just kind of reflect back on those times and sort of make myself whole again.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
If heaven had a creek, it would be this one.
This morning, Catherine O'Hara's co-stars paying homage to her humor and her heart.
And I'll be yours until the stars fall from the sky.
On Friday, the 71-year-old rushed to the hospital after having difficulty breathing. Her agency saying she died following a brief illness.
Careful, that's my sculpture.
In 1988, she became a household name as Delia Dietz in Beetlejuice. It was on the set of that movie that she met production designer Bo Welch, who would become her husband of more than 30 years.
Kevin!
She was the mother to Macaulay Culkin in both Home Alone films.
Merry Christmas, sweetheart.
Macaulay writing about O'Hara's passing, "Mama, I thought we had more time. I wanted more."
She was very popular back then. She had dozens of boyfriends.
Hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yeah, hundreds.
I did not know that.
And her longtime comedy partner, Eugene Levy, writing, "I had the honor of working with the great Catherine O'Hara for over 50 years.
More precious than a pot of gold. You do realize the baby is crying?
I do, yes.
Isn't it scheduled to be dormant by now?
The duo bringing home Emmys and winning over a new generation of fans playing Moira and Johnny Rose.
He folds it in.
I understand that, but how do you fold it? Do you fold it in half like a piece of paper and drop it in the pot, or what do you do?
David, I cannot show you everything.
Okay, well, can you show me one thing?
The role reinvigorating her career in her 60s.
May you have as much joy being holed up in a room or two with your family as I had with my dear Roses.
Most recently, O'Hara was nominated for an Emmy for her work in The Last of Us.
You can't heal something unless you're brave enough to say it out loud.
And the comedy, The Studio.
They're influencers. Most of them don't even go inside.
Her TV son, Dan Levy, posting, "It's hard to imagine a world without her in it."
Have I ever told you how bewitching you are? It's a compliment.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just feeling like a little emotional today. No, I just realized that this is like the last time that we're all going to be here.
Nope.
Like this.
Stop.
And TV daughter Annie Murphy echoing so many of our thoughts, writing, "Gosh, were we ever lucky to have her." Catherine O'Hara was 71 years old.
On the streets of New York City, a modern-day one-man band is turning himself into a rising star. Here's Danny New.
Roll crazy beat.
You give him one request,
About to go to the box. Got caught with an ox.
and on the spot, the man known as Ari at Home will conjure up any beat you'd like.
Every time I'm outside, it's kind of like a party. A little bit now.
In the past few years, 26-year-old Ari Miller has become famous to millions online.
Are you jumping on this? I got it. Here you go, bro.
As he struts around New York City with his rigged music machine,
I'll take it back on the ground like a Bowser. You can see me Google Chrome, that's the browser.
it makes you wonder if everybody on the planet secretly has musical talent.
The ethos of it is like anyone that wants to get on the mic is allowed to and is able to.
Now, technically speaking, Ari does not have too much formal musical training, but he has clearly been creating his own music from an early age. So after years of experimenting with making beats in his room, in 2023 he had this idea to take his act on the road, or really the streets. This has now led to him collaborating with a violinist, a man on his bicycle with a cat, and even Grammy-winning music legend Wyclef Jean.
The fact that Wyclef Jean was like, "I know you," and you were like, "You do?" He was like, "Of course I know you."
That was pretty cool.
But Ari says perhaps the most rewarding part of this experience
Shorty, yo, I'm 1,000 in. I can spend 1,000 over here.
has been when two strangers get to connect and perform together on one of his songs, like this one featuring a local rapper and a nearby doorman.
The idea that I get to assist in that's really like beautiful.
Now, Ari has tried this in other cities across the country and around the world, so if you're ever walking down the street and you see this man with a giant piano-looking thing, prepare to show the world your gift. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
I feel like, JD, you would be the guy in the suit that just went after it there.
I really liked that dude.
Yeah.
He's my idol.
Unexpected.
I don't even know his name.
No.
That was great.
Could you do it? Do you have that
wish.
musical talent?
I could fake it, I'm sure. Not maybe well.
Yeah. Briefly.
Let's get over to our sidebar. Eli Manning, who is now a hockey dad, was in Ottawa over the weekend.
This is my first time to Ottawa, and we've had a great stay. All the people in the tournament, it's been well run, and we've had a great time.
Manning was in town for a minor hockey tournament for his daughter playing in. They were also showing up at the Senators Devils game on Saturday night at the Canadian Tire Centre. So admittedly, he got onto Hockey Night in Canada, of course. Huge professional hockey fan, he says, but because his family are from New Jersey, they're probably cheering on the Devils.
Yeah, I mean, naturally.
Right. There he is.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one for you. A colorful sight taking over the famed canals of Venice. The annual Venice Carnival kicked off Sunday with a spectacular parade down the city's Grand Canal. This year's edition has a bit of a twist, taking on an Olympics theme as part of the festivities, with the Winter Games set to start in nearby Milan and Cortina on Friday.
Oh my goodness.
That rat is unsettling.
So earlier on,
Do
we did show this earlier, and I guess I wasn't looking at the right-hand side to see the rat's face, and I was just looking at the left-hand, and I thought it was a whale.
It could have been.
Now I see the rat.
Yep.
I just don't like it.
No. But they do, and that's
and that's
great for them.
important. Yeah,
That's great
what's
for them.
important. Yeah.
All right, we're going to scurry on off. We'll see you back here first thing tomorrow morning.